Hello everyone, my name is Jake, and this is going to be week one of my weekly show about everything that has everything major which has happened in American politics so far. I'm going to be talking about, so far I'll be talking about the ICE events which has happened, the federal shutdown, the Texas election which has happened recently, and this thing which I don't feel like staying right now. But first, before each, this is gonna be the first week, so I plan on doing this every week. Sunday, most always will be Sunday. Sometimes I won't be able to do that, so I'll try to do it. Other weeks, I will be sprinkling in some of my own opinions in here, so don't try not to be upset with what I have to say. But for each week, I'm just gonna start off with some events related to the midterm. As we see on Polymarker right here, currently there's an 82% chance for the Democrats. This is slightly up from the 79% it was earlier. I'm just going to do this thing every week, and it's getting more interesting as the weeks go on. It's going to be closer to the midterm. We're currently around 9 months away from it, so we're a little bit less than a year. We also have the Senate here, if I'll be able to see it. So 65% chance for the Republicans, that hasn't really changed. We're also going to be checking Trump's approval rating, which hasn't really changed so far, as we can see right here. So the first event we're going to get into is the recent ICE events that has happened. There's been a recent surge in ICE events in Minneapolis, and there was a couple events. There was two shootings, which resulted in two deaths. You have Alex Peretti and the Marine Good. So this was really a big event here, which happened. As part of Operation Metro Surge, which was the surge which I was talking about earlier. And so this event, as we can see, there's a lot of conflicting stories I've seen, but basically, what my rundown on this is, this person was before this event, kind of like tracking them, but ICE was also not being very kind to them either. And eventually, like, escalated and eventually gets shot because apparently he had a gun on him, but I haven't really seen any sources for that, so I'm not sure what's really happening there. So it's only been a week, so we don't really know full stories. There's been multiple videos which have been shown, which obviously I'm not going to be showing. And then the aftermath of this has really led to an increase in protests. It's really protests and riots, but I'd say they're mostly protests, and they already started, but they've kind of escalated. And this actually, believe it or not, led to a couple of apologies from Trump, basically for how this happened. But apparently, he's not going to be de-escalating, which is something which a lot of people were wondering if he would do. But it seems that he won't be doing that. So this, I would say, is the biggest event which has happened until yesterday, which I will be talking about. This happened. This actually happens. Calendar right here happened on the 24th, I think. So that's was it? Yeah, it was January 24th, which would be on Saturday, so it's not technically this week, but I'm counting it. This was a very important event, and obviously you never want to see people die. Well, obviously, but we're not going to be moving on to another event. This one's a little bit smaller. I'm going to be moving in the time which has happened. There was a lot of protests in between that, but I already covered it. So the next recent thing that happened after that will be the shutdown. And as you can see here with the deletion, there's a couple reasons why this can be deleted. So obviously we had the shutdown in 2025, where this one was an important one. This one was easily the longest shutdown in American history. It lasted almost 40. I think it did last 40 days. And it got so long that flights began to get canceled. I was worried if my flight would be canceled. People were getting off of Medicaid. I think there was around 14 different bills to open up the government. Eventually, they ended up doing it just because it was getting a bit out of hand. Also, some people think they only did it because of the 2025 elections, and clearly worked for them. So there was a bunch of layoffs, and it didn't really completely resolve it, the thing which happened, because it only funded it for a couple of months, I think, and that leads to what's going on now with the current government shutdown. Now, the current government shutdown, it's kind of like it's just not happening at all. Just because the thing is, um, if I can move here, they already passed the House measure to fund the Senate measure to fund the government, and it passed with a vote of 71 to 29. So it's gonna go to the House, and they will probably approve it, which means it will be probably the shutdown will probably end tomorrow. But the thing is, they didn't do it. They didn't do it the same day that the Senate did it, so it just has to be shut down for now for like 3 days, and it will almost certainly end tomorrow. Um, it's a stupid government shutdown because it's not even no one cares that it's shut down. But it's going to pass almost certainly, I think. We can also go on Poly Market to see the shutdown odds here. Um, there is a 12% chance it lasts till the end of the week, so that's very unlikely. And to the elephant in the room, we have the Epstein files. Now, you guys can look for this on your own. I don't want to get banned from YouTube. I don't want to be put on a watch list. I don't want to be I don't even want like it's just come on. There's 3 million extra files. It's a ridiculous amount. There's extremely disturbing stuff. Almost like 90. There's dozens of the most famous people who are on there. Probably everyone was involved. The government sucks. Everyone sucks, and that's kind of all I have to say for this. I don't want to get banned from this. So, as you can see here, it says that. The Giants apparently were connected, so the Giants already suck anyways. I mean, it can't really be worse for us anyways. Um, and it was just I know Bill Gates was named, and a lot of people were named, and you guys should check it out for yourself. It's on the official DOJ website, and it's a lot on there. That's just all I'm gonna say. And for the last thing today, it will be a special election which just happened recently. It was actually two yesterday. This one was for the House seat, and I believe, and this lowers the Republican majority to I think they can only afford to have one person not vote with them, and they won't have to be able to pass a bill. It's between two Democrats. This guy versus this person. I have no idea who either of them are. I'm just saying this happened. But one which I was tracking yesterday was this one. This was a Trump plus 14 seat, and this is actually interesting. You may think state senate was a bit was not very state senators are not really covering a big area, but this is actually bigger than their House seats. There's only like 16 of these. It's covering over 1 million people and 100,000 people voted. And it turned from a Trump plus 15 seat, I believe, to Democrat plus 15 seat. And this is very interesting because it's a lot of worrying and it's very happening for a lot of people. Just because this had very high turnout, and this was something which I believe there was an election before this. They had three people, and the Democrat got 48%, and there was two Republicans who split the vote. Um, I know there was an ice storm which happened, but it's still kind of crazy that this happened, especially in a plus 15 seat. Special elections have not been kind to Republicans this year, and that's just going to be all I'm going to have to talk about today. To recap, we have the government shutdown, which is happening recently, the ICE shooting, um, the election, and this, which you guys should check out for your own and make your own decisions. I'm not going to be talking about it as much. It's easily the most important news here, but thank you guys for watching. This was week one. I'm going to be talking about week two. It will air next day, and I'm going to try to figure out a name for this weekly show. I don't have one now. But I feel like I'll be able to make one by the end of the week. So thank you and goodbye.